After reading a whole book on project management, usually you can use no more than 10% in your daily work. Let's be honest, it's quite a waste of time, but I read quite a lot of books and found some gems for you. They are so fully packed with useful information that I read some of them 2 or even 3 times. So, let's begin. The first one is the 5 levels of leadership. Proven Steps to Maximize Your Potential by John Maxwell. I think it's a holy bible of practical leadership for project managers. Maxwell describes a simple step-by-step framework of what you need to do with any team. But what's more important, he explains why you should not treat your team as a whole. Instead, you need to develop relationships with each individual to some extent. For example, you need to get to know a person first. Then you need to prove that you have what it takes to be a leader for that specific team member. And only after you gain this permission to lead, you can use your expert knowledge as a project manager to make the whole team perform at its top level. Of course, there are leadership and motivational techniques that works on groups of people, but usually these are advanced approaches that you use a bit later. So, overall, I do recommend this book to all project managers and to all people in a leadership role. So, continuously people ask me, can you recommend a good book on project management? Because I tried reading PMBOK Guide and it has nothing to do with my practical work. It's funny, but usually I told people that I read a lot of project management books, but I can't recommend any. I said that you can pick any one that you like the most. They are all theoretical in the same way. But things have changed recently. I have a great recommendation for you. The title is Practical Project Management, proven framework that great project managers use in the real world. If you want to do it right, do it yourself. It's not the best leadership approach, but it worked in this case. So it's a book that I wrote. I can vouch for it. And people also confirm that the book delivers on its promise. Moreover, it's fully packed with practical knowledge, examples and case studies. Just like one of the readers summarizes it, all theoretical concepts are transformed into applicable advices. So if you want to learn how project management works in the real world, the book is for you. If you want to improve your project management skills, this book will give you insights into my 10 years of practical experience. So get the book, the link is in the description, and let's move on. The next title is The Personal MBA, a world-class business education in a single volume by Josh Kaufman. So, why it's important to have business knowledge as a project manager? To answer this question, we need to understand why people start a project in the first place. Actually, I think I saw an answer somewhere here. Why do people start and fund a project? They want to achieve a specific business objective. It's always about making or saving money, even if it's a charity, social or non-profit project. If you accept this, project management becomes a bit easier. So every project has an underlying business objective that an organization wants to achieve. But in the real world, project owners often obfuscate this objective with some higher goals. Personal MBA will give you a simplified explanation of the key processes and ideas in business. It will help you understand what project owners really want. And then you can translate it into project management terms. This book is fully packed with valuable information. It's really hard to define the best piece of advice in it. So, if you don't have a dedicated business education, I strongly recommend this book as a starting point. Okay, the 5 levels of leadership gives you a framework to lead a team. However, you need to implement this framework with individual people. So now you need a practical way to turn a stranger into a fan of your project management approach. How can you do that? Vanessa Van Edwards is an expert here. Her book Captivate: The Science of Succeeding with people, explains what to do with the person when you just met him or her. Moreover, it teaches you how to be a charismatic person without any cheesy tricks, how to spark a conversation and build connections with the person. Also, she will teach you how to read people's body language and so much more. Here are my lessons learned from putting this book into practice. First of all, the book is overloaded with practical tips and tricks. Don't try to remember and apply all of them at once. There are too many fine details you need to track and it requires practice. So choose one technique at a time and apply it to your family and friends first. Then test it on co-workers. See how it works. You see, in many cases it led me to unique conversations I never had with team members. So you should be ready to navigate them in a meaningful way. And by the way, note down what they tell you. It's something they deem important in life. You can use it to motivate them further down the road. You see, like everyone else, I am fascinated with leadership stories of Steve Jobs, Elon Musk and even John Maxwell. They describe visionary and mass effect approaches, but these approaches do not work in project management. Yes, you need to develop a vision of a productive project environment. Yes, you need to develop leaders within your team. However, as a project manager, you work on individual level, one-on-one. That's why Captivate will provide you with more benefits than any other book on leadership. The next book is The Deadline, a novel about project management by Tom DeMarco. Unlike other titles, it's a fiction story, but it describes a lot of episodes that many project managers can relate with. So if you are a new project manager, you'll see that project management is not standardized, and often you need to invent an approach. Moreover, some tasks require you to go far beyond the call of duty. On the other hand, if you are a seasoned project manager, it will be a fun read for you. Even though many situations are exaggerated, we've been there and seen that. I think it's a must-read book because it's classic in project management literature. It will inspire you to review your experience, approaches and knowledge in general. By the way, I've put all the links to these books for you in the description, so pick one for your professional development right now. Practical Project Management is my top recommendation, as you understand. Also, if you are interested in project management, then I'm sure one of these videos is something you need to watch next. So click one of these videos and I'll talk to you there.